Welcome and namaste, Deanna with Empowering Empaths. My intention always is to encourage everyone that comes in and listens. I'm a little crooked again. I did this last week. So I'm going to highlight on a few different key points astrologically this week. But I think this message is very clear. I'm coming to you guys on Easter. Whether you celebrate it or not, it is irrelevant to me. But the symbolism behind Easter, right, and the resurrection, I think is just absolutely beautiful. We're going through such intense times energetically, right, as our souls have chose to be here at this time and to evolve more into a unification type of way of being. And so I think it's the biggest thing I want to highlight astrologically is Jupiter and Pluto again this week. And the reason for that is, the Plutonian energy of those dark, hidden things that maybe some of us haven't wanted to process, or, think about it symbolically within your own life or even on the collective scale. And then Jupiter wanting this higher free thinking, higher understanding. Jupiter is expansive. So, in harmony, out of harmony, I say that all the time on my channel because the symbolism of it is so important. And so many of you know, if you are a returning listener, that I love Yeshua. I love the Christ. It's about Christ consciousness for me. So my main word for everybody today is transformation, like the butterfly. Getting that higher perspective and facing all of those dark hidden things on an individual level and a collective level. I was reflecting upon the symbolism of the cross, right? And my spiritual brother mentioned it this morning too, but I've also thought of it too. I have several tattoos crossed on me. But I look at it today way differently than I did in the past, right? So a lot of us going through ego changes, what our preference is here, living as a being, ascending and growing. And so the cross to me is way different than it was before. So it's like an ego death. It's a change of perspective. And I like to look at it as in the resurrection part myself, which is today, Easter, the resurrection, right? Symbolically of when the Christ risen. And so look at that within yourself of, the persecution used symbolically of how when you start being in your heart space and living your truth in this world, that those who want to oppress you or strike against you, lash out at you, make you feel. I feel we're going to have a push-pull this week because there's some squares to this, and I'll go through that astrologically in a minute. So I love to learn, and I love to look at things symbolically versus literally these days, and it really did open me up to an expansion. And so think about that anytime that you've spoke your truth or walked your truth, how you've seen people persecute you. And so I really love to look at it symbolically like that and have point for you to look within yourself to see symbolically how you've resurrected. And I've been saying this on my channel because I realized the significance, guys, was not being my authentic self until about the age of 40, where I stepped into this. Well, I got whacked into it. Spiritual awakenings usually come with a huge change, right? And then we go through the dark night of the soul, which is all of this dismantling. And I feel collectively that's what we're seeing happen right now. This pause has triggered a lot of people to look at it as in a negative way. And resurrect yourself, change your perspective, look at it as in a good thing. Utilize this pause that everybody's in, still in the mid part of April, to dig in, bring all that shit to the forefront and face those things, Plutonian things that were hidden before. We're seeing this on individual levels, and we're seeing this as a collective because of where we're headed. And so symbolically the Christ to me in my chart, and then also resonance as a little girl when Yeshua started coming to me. I love Yeshua, but that's also a bigger perspective of the consciousness of what the Christ is. I know it was very conflicting for me as a child to feel that presence of unconditional love, but then have other people who were maybe programmed into religion or whatever, teaching, God is this, God is that, but then also teaching that God was fear. And that shit was so conflicting as a little child, as a young girl who was definitely an empath. So really think about that. If you're sharing that God is love and you're also sharing that God is fear, it makes no sense. Or a punishing father or whatever. So my intention of this is not to preach at you. It's to have you look symbolically within yourself and maybe utilizing this Jupiter energy that's as above, so below within us right now to expand you and into the higher learning. So the chakras that are coming up for me, for everybody to share this week on this energy update, is the heart chakra up, which go figure, crown chakra, our connection to great creator, our third eye, getting a higher understanding and a better vision and a better clarity. Our throat chakra, speaking our truth, being our truth, walking our truth, right? And then, of course, the window to the soul in the heart. So that's what I'm feeling energetically. So symptom-wise, you could feel possibly lightheaded a little bit throughout this week. You could feel maybe different pressure within your head, which would probably most likely have to do with the pineal gland and the activations that are happening and the expansion. So remember that. Just keep it in mind if it happens to resonate with you. So I think it's important that we start learning to be it, right? To be that love and compassion, to be in chain reaction to that, to dots connecting within ourselves of being our authentic selves and not judging ourselves if we're not maybe where we should be at this time. So remember the spiritual totem of the transformation of a butterfly, right? It starts out as a water bug. It's in the water. It's in the dark, deep things like, say, Pluto too. And then as it grows and it evolves and it starts to resurrect, right? It becomes this beautiful dragonfly that cannot go back into the dark, deep recesses of where you may have been, where it may have been in the past. So it's kind of beautiful to look at it symbolically of like, you're laying that cross down. You're laying down the bullshit of crucifixion. And symbolically, I think it's super beautiful, allowing for that transformation to take place and have an understanding of it not ever going back to the way it was, and nor would we want it to be, right? Keep your eyes wide open. There's a lot of different things being shared out there that are very misleading. If you haven't already, I will ask you to be a free thinker and turn off mainstream media, because that is still in the old programming. Do you have to listen to me? No. I always share to be a free thinker, and I do understand that psychological warfare is very real, that it's been used in the darker energies for control and fear, and it's time to drop that and grow and evolve. And I think that personally for all of us, if we haven't yet understood that it's losing its grip, because this pause has caused such a beautiful spiritual, esoteric, unseen thing to take place that a lot of people are starting to wake up to it and go, you know what, we are sovereign, and I do not consent to people who have used fear for control it's not allowed to dwell within me. And so I've noticed within myself that prayer and intention and meditation has been super powerful right now. Always has been since I've been a little prayer warrior, but something about this last week has really helped me to gain a clarity. And one of the prayers I was praying, I did get my response pretty much immediately, and that it was that I've always struggled with injustices. And although I will always speak up for what's right and in integrity, right to me is integrity, truth. And so I will always speak up for things that are not truth or justice or whatever. However, it's not my burden and it's not my cross to carry. God's got it, because God is the truth. God is the way. And so I think that's pretty cool. That's a huge transformation that I've noticed within myself this week, right? I will always be one that speaks up for the underdogs, and I will always be one that speaks up for those that aren't being treated just and fairly and with love and compassion. It's just no coincidence all throughout my life, the things that I've experienced, and now I've finally found my voice. But it's not my war to battle, and that God's got me always, just as He, she, Mother, Father, God does you, whatever you call upon, Creator, Great Spirit. And so because Yeshua is so significant and lovely to me personally, through experience, I just wanted to share today's Jesus calling with any of you that are open to listen. Again, this has nothing to do with religion. This is about Christ consciousness, love, compassion, integrity, truth, and the way. And so thank you for being with me today. And I hope and pray that everybody's utilizing this pause to resurrect and really gain in clarity within yourself of really what matters, as we are all living these experiences in human form at this time. So trusting me is a moment by moment choice. My people have not always understood this truth. After I performed miracles in the wilderness, my chosen children trusted me intensely, but only temporarily. Soon the grumbling began again, testing my patience to the utmost. Isn't it often the same way with you? You trust me when things go well, when you see me working on your behalf. This type of trust flows readily within you, requiring no exertion of your will. When things go wrong, your trust flow slows down, and you are forced to choose between trusting me intentionally or rebelling, resenting my ways with you. This choice constitutes a fork in the road. That's always like the contemplation, right? Or the crossroad. Stay on the path of life with me, enjoying my presence. Choose to trust me in all circumstances. So I think that's beautiful, because Muji Baba, one of the beautiful spiritual brothers that I listened to, was just talking about that, about the seed. And the farmer throws the seed out, and some of it lands on good soil, some of it lands on rocks. And it's about that unwavering trust, right? So the seed can start growing even on a hard foundation surface, but it has really no roots. And so with the first bit of trials or tribulations, it whittles away. And then the one that's in the soil, that's gaining its strength and keeps utilizing its faith and its truth and its growth, is taking that strong foundation. And I've been symbolically saying that throughout this pause of like, utilize this to gain your spiritual muscles while everybody's in this time of stillness and contemplation, and allow it to resurrect you into a new way going forward, so that we're unifying as all sovereign beings instead of going by what many of us have been programmed into, which is keep them fighting within each other, whether it be from color, race, culture, differences, whatever. Not a good idea, because it keeps us all distracted. And quite frankly, that has been used for control and for fear for so long, and we don't have to do this. Yeshua's already been here. He already was crucified, and I use that symbolically as us being persecuted and whatever. When you start living in your truth and your way, you're gonna have that in this world that we're in. Fuck it. Resurrect. Be your true authentic self always, because when you're in that truth in that way, there is no wrong path for you. You're on it. You're in your heart. You're in your integrity. You're speaking your truth. You're allowing the expansion of being all-seeing, but not just a plant that falls over that has no spiritual roots, right? Symbolic. So just remember that. On a collective scale this week, we are going to see a struggle. We're going to possibly see power struggle. And because Capricorn, Pluto and Jupiter are in Capricorn, which is the structures, right? Capricorn represents the skeletal system, the bones, what holds us, our foundations that holds us together, on the micro and the macro. Remember this, we are projecting on the screen what we see. Collectively, it wasn't on the correct path for the best for humanity, for all, and now we're seeing all of these different planets, Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, all going through that structure sign of Capricorn and redoing things. And this is going to be a process. So there's going to be a square with some conflicting energies with the Sun and Pluto square on Tuesday, the 14th, and then Sun Jupiter square on Wednesday. It's a massive power struggle energy. So think about that within yourself this week, and then on the collective scale out there, because we definitely do have a power struggle going on. It's very clear to see if you're being all seeing. You can see Jupiter being expansive. You could see it blow up. You could see some shocking things that are revealed. So just keep that in mind. What else do I want to highlight astrologically, and then we'll just go into the cards. We have the Sun moving into, is it 20th Taurus? April 20th, I think that's Taurus. So we'll be going into Taurus season. We'll be leaving behind Aries season, going into an Earth sign on the 20th. Yep. So happy solar return to all you Taurus, which is April 20th through May 20th. Beautiful Earth signs fixed. So we could be seeing some of our values starting to be anchored into our vessel, because we've been going, a lot of us, Uranus and Taurus and Chiron and Aries, all these wounds being healed and repaired and resurrected within us. We could see more of an anchoring with that and being able to embody our new values moving forward. And then we have a new moon on the 22nd, which is also obviously Taurus. So, and it's also Earth Day. Imagine that. I didn't realize that till I just looked on my calendar. Keep that in mind as we're going forward, because a lot of us have been, if you're utilizing this time to resurrect you, right, and your authenticity, you could start seeing your values changing. And I think that's a lot of times what many of us humans have done, which is not embraced change and got into universal alignment. Instead, we fought it. And so when we're seeing these power structures with Pluto and Saturn, we'll be going back into that throughout this year. I, in my heart of hearts, see it losing its grip. Or if we as a collective choose to go back the old way and not listen to Mother Earth and start doing things differently, whether it be on how we grow our food or how we treat each other, we'll have another nice, whack upside the noggin by the universe again, because we aren't listening. So I'm hoping that everybody utilizes that. And my intention and my hope and faith for every one of you that tune in to listen is that you Utilize this time for transformation. Become that beautiful dragonfly and really just keep going forward into the truth and the way and the light. And keep in mind what I said about which chakras are coming up to me. You could feel a little bit lightheaded, a little bit dizziness, and I think you can go out and ground. You know, Taurus being an earth sign, and we're moving into Taurus season. Be a time for a lot of us, if you can get outside and put your feet on the earth or your bottom or your bare feet, or if you're in isolation, which I don't like to call that really, because we're never alone. If you're in this pause and you're in the city, then like I said last week, do what you can to ground, whether it be a plant or fresh air moving through you, any of the elements. Epsom salt baths are one of my go-tos all the time. A lot of prayer, a lot of meditation, a lot of cleansing, a lot of purging, a lot of resurrecting that takes place. So just to inspire, I would love to share a little Yeshua message. Mother, Father, God, Ascended Masters, all my angels and my guides, Yeshua, Son of God, my Son, in spirit, I call upon you all to be uplifting. Shine your light on me. Allow it to expand my heart and to send out to all of viewers that come in and listen, whether it be presently or in the future. Allow this to encourage them, uplift them, and so it is. So I'm feeling a lot of gratitude in my heart for the last couple days, and instead of judging myself when I waver, you know, I get feeling like everybody else where I feel defeated, where I feel like it's doom and gloom. I feel collectively where a lot of us are healing that right there, right? So remember that the mainstream media is still in the old programming, and that timeline is going to expire. And as my beautiful energetic guidance, who I listen to, Cryon.com, Cryon Channeler by Lee Carroll, there will be a reckoning for all of these things that were collectively used to put people into fear. And so remember what I say on this, that mainstream programming is still under the control of all these dark, hidden Plutonian people, so to speak, right? Symbolic. And they are losing control, and there will be a reckoning for that. So it's not us against them. It's about bringing the darkness to the light. So fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. So I don't look at this as minimizing, and I don't look at this as a bad thing. When she says symbolically little flock, that is just this little short time we have on the planet called Earth, right? And to remember that we're always sovereign beings, and that what we're going through this experience is to fear not. Fear blocks our connection. So it is to give you the pleasure of the kingdom. So think about what that means symbolically for you. Such a beautiful, by the water, staff in his hand, very sure of who he is. You know what? I'm not Christian at all, as you guys know this. However, I absolutely love Yeshua. My beautiful soul sister sent me a link to the series The Chosen, and so I just started binge watching it last night. It's very well done. It's very new, and the way that they bring forward Yeshua to us all as the human that he was, and made it very real as him being human. It's a beautiful series that is available on YouTube, and they also have an app called The Chosen, and it is absolutely free because there's people out there donating it. So they're paying it forward for viewers to watch for free. Just thought I would share that with you because it's an awesome. I went from crying to laughing throughout the whole 8. I binge watched it for 2 days. So we'll go into some more messages from the Twin Flame Journey Oracle. Woo, that one just came right out. To go for this week. All right. That's a beautiful card. Keep resurrecting. Every second of every day we have the choice to resurrect ourselves, and I think that's a beautiful thing. Utilize this time to strengthen your spiritual muscles, because there are going to be things revealed that are effing alarming. And when people keep shining the light on these things that are hidden, like in Plutonian energy, that is not new, but they are getting revealed. I believe symbolically we're in Revelations. Well, we got lots of cups. I'm gonna have to get clarification on that one. Just remember to gain your spiritual muscles. Do not, if you don't know the term cognitive dissonance, please do look that up. Remember that I'm sharing that word with you, because sometimes when the things that we believe in are not true, it can really send people down a track of depression and whatnot. And because I am a mother of a child that's on the other side, I know what depression looks like. I was in it myself. I was in that dark, murky water, like the water bug. And I fought to come out of that, and I fought to transform, and I surrendered to the inner knowingness within me, my higher self, God, creator, source, and I have transformed into my transparent wings now. So the reason I say that to you is because sometimes when things are revealed, it can cause us to be depressed, and I was at one time, and now I have passion, and I have passion for other people, and I have passion for life, and my passion is this channel coming to you to uplift and encourage you guys. So always take what resonates, leave the rest. I encourage you to be a free thinker. And if your intuition is telling you that in this pause there's something off, then I do highly encourage you to do your own research, which cannot be from mainstream media. Like I said, it is in old programming, and it is a timeline that is going to fall because of what they've used the energy for. And there will be a reckoning with that. So first card we got was Three of Cups, celebration and community. So there's the water bearer itself. That is the age of Aquarius to me. That it is a purity of emotions. This is a humanitarian card as well for me, because the Aquarius, even though it's an air sign, is the water bearer. And this is about having a new forward thinking and feeling on the collective and the unification that needs to take place, and to break the chains free of the control that many of us have been in, programming that we didn't even know we were in, demanding that you are a sovereign being and that you do not consent to this control anymore, and taking that truth, taking your way, taking the water symbolically out there for the community. Okay, that's a light worker's role through and through. Tranquility ahead, Six of Swords. This is about balancing your thoughts within yourself. This is, wow, it's struggling to focus today. Why? Let me shut this blind real quick. That better? So this is beautiful. It came up last week as well, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm seeing this purple field in front of us. Definitely third eye, crown chakra as well. This tranquility ahead can be gained when we balance our thoughts. Swords are air, so that can also symbolize the age of Aquarius that we are all freshly going into, where we need to get into this oneness consciousness, right? And that would go back to the Three of Cups and a celebration and about community. That is so symbolic of Aquarius and the age of Aquarius. So Four of Cups. This is okay, I get it now. I was going to ask for clarification, but I get it. This is our emotions. This is not missing opportunities because we're stuck in old emotions, old patterns, old belief systems. So this is telling me to pay attention to your emotions so that you don't miss out on the opportunities going forward in this oneness, this consciousness of tranquility, right? And so with this card being last in the reading, definitely pay attention to your emotions. Look for that light ahead, because a lot of us, we are in a collective dark night of the soul right now. But if you can just rise above that and understand the bigger picture, keep your eye on the prize, which is that light, so symbolic. Keep walking down that tunnel of light. Keep following the light. Keep following your heart. Keep following the truth. Don't get hung up in your emotions, because that would be completely resonating with missing an opportunity, right? If we're too stuck in a belief system or an emotion that's going to hold us back, right? Super symbolic. Anything else? We at 30 minutes now. Okay. I hope and pray, and my intention always on this channel is to encourage everybody. I understand that we are in a really crazy time, but if you can keep gaining your spiritual muscles and you can allow this transformation to keep taking place within you, we have this beautiful collaboration, which is the Age of Aquarius. This is a pivotal time right now when we're in this pause to choose to do things a different way, because we need to start being more about community thinking. We've been off kilter with the scales, you know, we just had that Libra full moon, and as a collective, humanity is at a very pivotal time, and we have every bit of what we need right within us. Mother, Father, God did not create us by no accident. You are not a dirty sinner. Face your wounds, and my hands are on fire right now. Allow this transformation to take place. I'm trying my best not to bitch and complain. Like I shared last week, I'm always a homebody anyway, but the minute you tell me I can't, it's like, oh, hell no, I'm rebellious, right? That's okay. It's okay. And I just had this epiphany within me about there's things going on right now in the dark that we don't know about, that we can assume all day long. Or if you're going by mainstream media, you're being completely misled. Just remember that. Their agendas are not working anymore. And I would like for you to profess, and I would love for you to pray, set your intention, and speak it as in it is done already, that you are a sovereign being, and you do not consent to anything that is against your will as a child of God. And there's a huge power within that, if you can feel it and heal it and be it. So sending this to you guys with so much love. I'm really excited to be here with you guys. If you are a new subscriber, thank you so much. My returning listeners, namaste to you too. I appreciate every single one of you. I would love for more conversations, comments to start happening in the comments below. Please do me a favor by liking this. That's how you can support me. Share it if you would like to send it out to others. Plant the seed. Get my algorithms going on my channel, because I plan on being here for the long haul, encouraging everybody. I did go from the pits of the darkness into the transformation like a butterfly, and so I am testimony, and I am here always. Namaste, and I will see you all very soon.